It's UFC Fight Night. Kape versus Royval. He's a mean one. Mr. Finch. I'm not going to do that to you again. Not going to do that to you again because I'm fucking running. I'm trying to help wifey buy an SUV today. It's a lot of fucking... When you're having a baby, first of all, you have shit like this just laying around the crib, okay? My masculinity is in question based on all of the pink, soft, fuzzy stuff laying around this place. But also my bank account. She says babies are expensive. Number one thing, she drives a little yellow Beetle. Okay, not going to work. We got to get wifey an SUV. So let me go look at fucking SUVs. I did my research for this card, though. It's UFC Fight Night. It's the last one of the ESPN deal. It's going to have a couple Bellator fighters on it, bitches. And I'm excited for that. You know, I know Lance Gibson Jr. and Yaroslav Amosov pretty well. Hung out with both of them, you know, interviewed both of them multiple times, made content with them, and two good human beings, you know. Lance Gibson Jr., of course, his dad, you know, being a pioneer MMA fighter, and Yaroslav Amosov, world-class wrestling. I told him, hey, best wrestling in MMA? I asked him, he believe it? He said, yeah. He said, yeah, that's what I got. Here's the breakdown. Let's start with Tereza Bledá versus Jamie Lynn Horth. Tereza Bledá should be able to win this thing. A loss to Denise Gomes is not bad. You know, did I say Denise Gomes? Jesus Christ, am I starting off bad? It was Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva. Jesus. I said Denise. A loss to Natalia Silva is not that bad. Denise Gomes would be a little worse, actually. Natalia Silva, clean striker. Very, very talented striker. So eating a spinning back kick by her, yeah, that makes sense. She's like top 3 in the division, could be champ type deal. Gabriela Fernandez win is nice. The Maya win is nice. And I think this Jamie Lynn Horth win will be nice. Jamie Lynn Horth, definitely like gatekeeper level, very fit, very gritty. But I'm going to go with a little bit more talent on the Tereza Bledá side, potentially a finish there. It's hard betting a ladies finish, right? Tereza Bledá decision. Alan Frye versus Guilherme Pat. Guilherme Pat looks the part. Okay, this was a casting call. Pat makes the cut, but doing a little bit of digging, he hasn't really fought anybody impressive. As to where Alan Frye, a little bit more relevant experience at 6-0. Really a coin flip one, guys. It's tough, you know. My original lean was Guilherme Pat. I got to say my lean right now is Alan Frye. Would I bet on this thing? Fuck that. There are definitely better bets on this card, like Luana Santos versus Melissa Croden. You know, this idea that people are going to go for Luana Santos because she's beautiful, I don't buy it, okay? People meaning the 3 judges that actually matter. I don't buy it. I think that Melissa Croden is going to be able to grind this thing out. Melissa Croden, in her prime now. You know, I'm pretty impressed by the Canadian. You know, Luana Santos, I could just see her getting bullied as this thing goes on. You know, Melissa Croden, she showed durability. She showed cardio. She wins the 3rd round. I think she's just going to be stronger and sort of bully a Luana Santos. Let's say she wins 2 and 3, gets a 29-28. I like Melissa Croden in this matchup quite a bit. Sean Sharaf versus Stephen Asplund. Interesting. Sean Sharaf lives a couple miles away. I've seen him training over at Ruka with Jason Perillo hitting pads. He's definitely got hands on him. Not a whole lot beyond the hands, right? That's an issue. Stephen Asplund, I rewatched that Dana White's Contender Series knockout. He just got in a brawl, but that might work here, you know, because I don't see Sharaf really mixing it up. Sharaf likes to exchange. And Asplund has some fucking talent when you bang with him. Asplund does drop his hands, though. So, like, again, am I running the bet on this thing? No. Slight lean Stephen Asplund, but Sean Sharaf might be able to get it done with the hands. I think Stephen Asplund's going to be a little bigger, if I'm not mistaken. He was like 500 and something pounds before in his belly fat prime. Now he's in his fighting prime, or approaching it anyway. And, you know, I think he'll throw all that body into some big shots and hurt Sean. Neil Magny versus Yaroslav Amosov for those of you that don't know, Yaroslav Amosov, former Bellator world champion, was 26-0 and was very, very highly touted, lost to Jason Jackson, but, trying to, look at the matchup with Neil Magny here, I do think that he's going to be able to out-wrestle Neil Magny all day, and his submission ability is pretty good, and so is his boxing. He's decently well-rounded. ATT, trained with a lot of great guys, put rounds in with Johnny Eblin in them, and they would tell me when I was working for Bellator, yeah, this guy's world-class, right? So Ukrainian champ, got to respect him there too. I'm going to go with him over Neil Magny. Neil Magny, kind of like a guy that's hard to bet against, to be honest. Neil Magny pulls shit off, and the odds are kind of wide on this one. And it is a Bellator guy making his debut. I get it. But that's not the type of debut this is. This isn't Aaron Pico coming in against Lerone Murphy on a win streak. This is Neil Magny, who's not going to be getting a title shot, and who pulled a win out of the fire against the Jake Matthews, who was winning that fight. Kind of did win that fight. We could skip that again. I'm going to go Yaroslav Amosov. I think he'll be able to grind out a Neil Magny. Should he submit him? Possibly. That is live. JoAnderson Brito versus Isaac Thompson. Isaac Thompson coming in as a replacement. JoAnderson Brito via smash. I think he'll get it done on the ground. I think he's explosive on the feet. JoAnderson Brito should be able to bounce back nicely here. This is a great opportunity. End of the ESPN card for a JoAnderson Brito finish. I think a strangle is likely. Give me JoAnderson Brito taking out the Brit. Amanda Lemos versus Jillian Robertson. I like Amanda Lemos here, but the asterisk is Jillian Robertson, despite the record, right? She could fucking grind, and we've seen a problem with Amanda Lemos getting taken down against the highest levels of the division. This is not Tatiana Suarez. I do think Amanda Lemos is pretty hard to take down on the fence. The training camp, previously to defend against the wrestler, Tatiana Suarez should be helpful here. I think Amanda Lemos has a little bit more in the tank. I think she'll be able to outstrike pretty handily a Jillian Robertson. Jillian Robertson's a dog, though. It's going to be a fight. Jillian Robertson probably does take her down at some point. I'm going to say Amanda Lemos in this one in a pretty decent ladies fight. King Green versus Lance Gibson Jr. Bellator's here, motherfucker. Lance Gibson Jr. is pretty good. The problem is he's not a wrestler, right? It would be nice if I could rely on him getting the takedown here, because his jiu-jitsu is going to be a lot better than King Green. King Green got triangle armbarred by Paddy Pimblett. Well, guess what? One of the better triangles in the UFC is Lance Gibson Jr. now, because his triangle is real solid. He fights off his back really well. I mean, he's been training since he was a little kid, so he's well-rounded. He has skills every area. Slight lean Lance Gibson Jr., but King Green's going to be a tough matchup for him in his debut. Make no mistake, Bobby Green has hands, whether they're down by his kneecaps or whatever fuck he's doing, taking risks that are not always calculated. I think that it's a real fight. He's got fast hands, a lot of UFC experience. Bobby Green's definitely not out of this thing at all. Lance Gibson Jr. should be pretty competitive on the feet. Doesn't have the hands of Bobby Green, but has better kicks. And then the jiu-jitsu is like night and day. Dude, I just see Lance Gibson finding a choke. And Lance Gibson Jr. submission's the call. Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Marcus Buchecha Almeida. Kennedy Nzechukwu. Striking here is night and day. Night and day! Marcus Buchecha Almeida, world-class grappler. Kind of fell off of that world-class spot, though, and then came to MMA sort of after his prime. I am not impressed by your performance. I just got to call it like it is. Marcus Buchecha, I've seen him over at King's MMA training. I know he's training with some pretty good guys. Got some working with Fabricio Verdum. I mean, I know the training's decent, but it's like he's not explosive anymore. He's guard pulling in 1FC. I don't like it. I was able to pick, 3-1 dog. Big boy. Martin Boudet over him. And we made money on that on Premium Channel. DM at Mike Finch'Show on Instagram if you want to join Premium Channel. I'm going to go with Kennedy Nzechukwu via knockout. Morgan Charrière versus McQuiziel Costa. I'm going to go with Morgan Charrière. It is a good one. I disagree with some people on this one. I think Morgan Charrier's wrestling is good enough to keep it on the feet and bang up Costa. Costa's very good at jiu-jitsu. That's like the difference here. He could catch a submission on the ground. But I'm going to trust in Morgan Charrière, the bully, to get it done. Cesar Almeida versus César Oleksiejczuk. Some smart people are on Cesar Almeida. It's not crazy. It's just when I'm looking at tape, César Oleksiejczuk moves his head head nicely, storms forward. He has takedowns. It's enough for me against Cesar Almeida, who's, yes, beaten Poatan in kickboxing, but this ain't kickboxing, motherfuckers. I think Cesaria Oleksiejczuk's actually pretty good. It could be better than our other Oleksiejczuk. Give me him decision. Takedowns. Maybe he fucking wins, on the ground. Get a little TKO action for us. That'd be nice. Submission action for us. That'd be nice. All live. Cesar Oleksiejczuk mixing it up makes a lot of sense here. Be an MMA fighter, and he should beat Cesar Almeida. Giga Chikadze versus Kevin Vallejos. I'm going with Giga Chikadze. But he is kind of my boy, See Giga fairly often, Both live in Huntington Beach. Yeah, Giga's kind of my boy. With that being said, I like that he's over at, Classic Fight Team getting sparring in. I like that he's working with the younger guys. He's very serious about getting back in the win column. He's just world-class kickboxer. He's opening his own gym now, which maybe is a bit of a distraction, I'll be honest. But that's really my only reservation. Okay, there's the takedown reservation, but Kevin Vallejos ain't usually shooting takedown. He's trying to knock people out with his hands. Giga Chikadze, kicker versus puncher. I like the range difference here. Giga taller than this kid by a lot. This kid's going to try to knock Giga out, and he'll give him a run for his money. I mean, we're going to roll the dice here, but I'm going to go Giga with the kicks, setting it up, boom, bouncing a kick off the head, and then telling people to join his gym in Orange County. Main event, Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape. I've been thinking about this thing all week. I like Brandon Royval, I do, but I'm going to go Manel Kape. I think Manel Kape's the more explosive striker, the guy who's going to do more damage, the guy with more consequence, and his defensive wrestling's pretty fucking good. Brandon Royval probably does have an advantage on the ground, but can he get it there? And then on the feet, Brandon Royval's a little slappy. He'll stay in the fight. I think that it will be a fun one. But I think he's going to eat some hard kicks. I think Manel Kape's going to do some damage to him. I got to lean Manel Kape here. Though I think Brandon Royval is 5-round cardio. I think Brandon Royval being a little bit taller, same reach, which helps me in the Kape situation. But, significantly taller, should be able to throw his jab out there and move his feet a little bit and make this thing a fight. I just see Manel Kape smacking that calf with the shin, doing some damage, ripping the body a little bit, having moments in this fight. As to where Brandon Royval, keeps the fight close, then eats a big shot. You know what I mean? I think the damage is going to be in Manel Kape's favor. I think he's going to win this thing. Let's say scorecards, actually, but I know he wants a finish. I know he wants a title shot. The division's all mixed up right now. A Manel Kape KO would be massive here. One more time for my people in the back. I'm going with Manel Kape in the main event. Give me Giga Chikadze. That's right, motherfuckers. Old man Giga taking out Kevin Vallejos. Cesar Oleksiejczuk over Cesar Almeida. Morgan Charrière over Costa. Give me Kennedy Nzechukwu over Marcus Buchecha Almeida. Lance Gibson Jr. over King Green. Woo-woo. I know you guys hate Bellator. I don't care. Amanda Lemos over Jillian Robertson. That's a dog. JoAnderson Brito over Isaac Thompson. Sub. Yaroslav Amosov over Neil Magny. He's gonna be looking for a fucking Darce choke or something too. I mean, that's a fun one. Neil Magny, stop winning random fights, bro. You're pissing me off. Stephen Asplund over Sean Sharaf. Sorry to my neighbor. Melissa Croden over Luana Santos. Too much grit. Too strong. Alan Frye over Guilherme Pat. I don't know. Initially, I was on Guilherme Pat. His Muay Thai looks okay. I don't know on that one. And then Tereza Bledá over Jamie Lynn Horth. Those are my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night going down on Saturday tomorrow. And it is the last fight of the year. 6-week break. What the fuck are we going to do with ourselves? I'll do like year end, fight of the year, fighter of the year, and then also predictions, right? So predictions for 2026. Maybe we got to look at who the champs are. I'll come up with something fun for you guys. All right. I appreciate every single one of you. I seriously do. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Really helps. Please like. If you got nothing to say, just leave a W in the chat. Definitely helps the algorithm. And if you want to see who I'm betting on, DM at mikefinchshow on Instagram. We'll get you in there. And, I like the lock of the night a lot on this card. I almost just put like a solo lock this card. It's almost how I bet. I just did a big, I think it was 2 units. But I like some other ones too. I mean, I ended up placing, 3 more sizable bets, but lock of the night, I doubled up, tripled up on, lock of the night strong on this one. You guys want to see who I'm betting on? DM at mikefinchshow on Instagram. We'll get you in there. And until next time, It's peace and love.